All right, I told Ian I wasn't going to talk about this. I mean, it doesn't really matter. But I saw a movie last night that I had high expectations for and ended up turning out to be one of the weirdest movies I've ever watched in my life, by far. And that is Magazine Dreams with Jonathan Major. I know this movie's kind of been a little bit blackballed, blacklisted, whatever, because of Jonathan Majors' past. You know, I'm not going to get into that, but my whole thing is I'm just going to watch the movie. And to be honest, I was interested in it because, you know, I like lifting, and to me it was painted out as a bodybuilding movie, whatever. And it is. It's, you know, it digs into how, you know, how deep, you know, these bodybuilders go with, you know, steroids and the work that they put in and the eating and nutrition and everything like that. And to be honest, like, it paints that right. It does. And Jonathan Majors is great in the film. I mean, realistically, in any film that I've ever watched him, Creed, Ant-Man, whatever, you know, I'm trying to think, but he's been great. He's a great actor. He paints this well. He's jacked. Like, I know I watched an interview where he was talking about he was eating 6,100 calories a day, working out twice a day. And you know, like, you can tell he really put his all into this, and he plays kind of a, like, socially awkward, his name's Killian, and he's socially awkward. His parents died when he was younger. His dad and his mom got into a fight, and his dad killed his mom and then killed himself, and that's kind of why he's kind of a little bit weird. He lives with his grandpa, who's a Vietnam veteran, and he kind of does everything for him and takes care of him. And you know, he's really into bodybuilding. He works at a grocery store, and, you know, like, he's very socially awkward. It kind of starts out where he's talking to, you know, he's just working out, whatever, gets into him asking a girl out at the grocery store very awkwardly, and, you know, he goes out to dinner with her, and you can tell this is one of the millions of moments he goes off the rails, talks about how he has to give his 110% to be a bodybuilder, and he's eating like maybe 3,000 calories just there with her, and she sneaks out and basically dips and says she has a family emergency, and he's like, oh, okay, whatever. And then, like, there's a time where, you know, his grandpa wanted his siding repainted, and the business wouldn't come out because they said they'd already done it. So he ended up going to their store and breaking it and, like, punching through the walls and stuff. It's just, like, it's a lot of roid rage, built up aggression. Like, he is just like a ticking time bomb at all times. And the thing is I could see at first where it was going, and I was like, oh, okay, like, whatever. And the whole time it kind of resembles, if anyone's ever heard the song Stan by Eminem, where it's like a psycho fan, and he is a psycho fan of this bodybuilder named Brad Van Horn, okay? And it's actually Mike O'Hearn, who is a bodybuilding whatever legend, and you know, like, he's basically emailing him, or not emailing him, writing him letters and saying, like, hey, I would expect you to get these, like, very crazy, like, Stan-ish type messages. And you know, it keeps going off the rails, and at one point, like, he ends up getting beat up by the guys of the store that he broke down, and you're like, what the hell is this? Like, and even though he gets beat up, he's so obsessed with the bodybuilding that he ends up still going to the bodybuilding show he had that day, all bloodied, all whatever, and he has a heart attack. And the thing is like, he has 2 heart attacks in this movie. And he tells the doctor he's not going to get surgery, not going to do whatever, because it would mess up his body, and that's his sport. And if he has a scar, he can't be a bodybuilder. But it keeps playing on, and then at one point he gets to a point where he's so crazy in the mind that he's basically gonna go kill people, like, and this guy kind of talks him into it as a joke, but he takes it serious because he's a maniac, and he's about to go kill people. The day of, he finally gets a call from Brad Vanderhorn, whatever, the bodybuilder that he's obsessed with. And the guy's like, you need to come out to my show. And it kind of saves his life. And you were kind of thinking like, that's where it was going to go. And you're like, oh, okay, like he's going to, you know, turn a new leaf, whatever. And he ends up going to the show in private thing. And it's very like, seems normal at first. And you're like, oh, like that's just bodybuilders talking. And then it cuts to a scene where he's having relations with the bodybuilder that he's obsessed with. And that's where I was just like, we're here. And I thought we were going here. And we just like went to Antarctica. I don't even know. And then the guy ends up never calling him back. And he ends up going to a show with an AR about to kill him. And then the movie ends with him being like, nah, I'm not going to kill him. I'm going to turn a new leaf and still be a bodybuilder. That's how it ends. 2 hours of a movie of the weirdest shit I've ever seen in my life. Great acting by Jonathan Majors. But everything else, like, the first hour mark was like, oh, okay, like, it's kind of weird, but, like, you know, I can see where it's going. And then it's like 1 hour to 2 hours, you're like, holy shit, this is weird as hell. And I don't even know. It's so weird, it's not even funny. And the thing is this movie has gotten really high reviews. And I can, not high reviews, but like average views, 70, 80%. And my thing is like, for the acting, yeah. Great movie in terms of Jonathan Majors playing a character and acting really well. But the plot line and everything could have been the weirdest plot line I've ever seen in my life. And I want to let you know, if you're going to see this movie, I can't even if you listened up to this point, you wouldn't believe the stuff that it just goes on in that movie. Like, out of nowhere, you'll be like, oh, this is going well. And then all of a sudden, just batshit crazy stuff. And I don't even know. Like, I can't explain to you. I know this movie was supposed to come out in 2023 before all his allegations, whatever, and stuff. But I don't know if it should have came out. Again, the acting is great, but whoever wrote this plot line, and this is how I'm gonna kind of end it, because I explained it, spoilers. I want to let you know, whoever wrote this plot line and wrote this movie could be the weirdest person I've ever heard of. I don't know what you were on when you were making this movie. And I don't know how Jonathan Majors read the script of this and was like, you know what? This is it. Because again, he was great. Everything else was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. And yeah, again, a movie I was excited for, and now I'm like questioning if I ever want to watch movies again. Yeah. But again, leave in the comments if you've ever had a movie like this where you've been blown out of proportion in the wrong way, because this is one of the first times I've ever been like, what the hell did I just watch? Again, hope you guys have a great day. Leave a like and a comment and subscribe.